Good morning, everyone. We're going to be doing a really fun, a really juicy morning flow to get those morning stiff bones moving. Like I said, you may want to have a pillow, a cushion, a blanket, a towel, something that you can pad your knees with, because we'll do just a few postures where we are kneeling. And if that's uncomfortable, I'll give some other variations as well. And as always, it may be useful for you to have a block or a thick book or two, just in case you have any difficulty reaching at the floor in certain postures. Always good to have options to adjust the asanas to your body rather than having to adjust your body to fit and make a perfect shape, perfect, quote unquote. All right, let's go ahead and get started on our backs today. Come on down. Bring your feet about as wide as the mat if that feels okay, and your knees together. Bring one hand to your belly, one hand to your chest. Close your eyes and your mouth, and let's begin to breathe in and out of your nose. As always, using the first few moments here on the mat to settle in. Begin to observe your breath as it moves in and out of your body. Notice what your breath feels like as it moves into the belly, the chest, maybe even the shoulders. Use this awareness of your breath to start to ground you down into the present moment, into your body here. Take a moment to observe what your breath sounds like today. And when you're ready, we'll start to consciously deepen the breath. Draw your inhale down into your belly. And we'll bring our attention to the rib cage this morning. Now, instead of thinking of only breathing into the belly, only pushing that belly up to the ceiling, try and start to direct your breath actively into your ribs along the side of the body. So we're breathing more in a horizontal fashion rather than just anteriorly or just in the frontal plane. So we want to start to breathe into the side body. We're starting to interact with those intercostal muscles that live between your ribs. And we're starting to fully utilize the diaphragm as it wants to be used. And see if finally you can bring your breath into the ribs along the back body. So you have your back against the floor, and see if you can start to breathe into the floor a little bit here. So you can feel the skin across your back move against the floor. And then let's try and balance this breath. So we're breathing evenly into the front of the body, the sides of the body, and the back of the body now. Remember that your torso is a cylinder, right? And we want to be breathing evenly into all corners of that cylinder. On your next exhale, open your mouth and just let it all go. Inhale, bring your knees in towards your belly. Give yourselves a little cuddle and just take easy little movement side to side here. Maybe round in a nice little circle. Just notice what feels good. And it's funny, when I do these kind of stirring movements, I actually feel quite a lot in my shoulders. I don't know if that's just me, but try and get your shoulders into it a little bit more as well. They feel so crackly first thing in the morning. Nice, and then we're gonna grab onto our right leg, draw your right knee up towards your right shoulder, and then allow it to descend a little bit. And see how this feels. We're gonna start to extend your left leg up to the ceiling. Now don't worry about straightening your leg. It can also look like this or like this. Feel free to bend up that knee as much as you want to, but push through the heel. And then we're gonna circle our ankles 3 times, one way. Remember that ankle mobility and strength is crucial to the health and the rest of the body. And we'll go the other way. Move as slow as you can. Notice if you're speeding through the movement, slow it down. Notice if your leg is trying to circle just the ankle. Oof, nice. And then we're going to lift that left leg up a little higher if you can. Keep your right hip exactly where it is, grounded into the mat. And as you exhale, we're going to open the left leg out to the left side. Turn your heel up to the ceiling a little if you can. And just stop when you find a little tug through the inner left thigh. So we're making the stretch just a little more active. You can kind of play around with your pelvis here, kind of wiggle, waggling a bit, and see what position feels good. Trying to come into neutral. And as you inhale, slowly lift up. Exhale, we're going to start to cross that left leg over to the right side. Push through the heel. Now you may want to fall over to the right side, so just find that point where you're maybe just about to tip over. And we're looking for a little sensation through the outer left hip. You can also support yourself on your right elbow if you feel like you're about to collapse. That's actually what I'm doing to stop myself from falling over like a rag doll. Inhale, slowly come up through center, and exhale, bring your left foot to the floor. We're going to come into a half happy baby. Several options. Option 1, we're going to lift the right foot up to the ceiling, the knee descends to the floor. Maybe grab behind your thigh, see how that feels? Maybe grab onto your shin. And finally, maybe catch the outside edge of your foot. But again, that may be quite a lot first thing in the morning, so please just do the variation you like. Draw your shoulder down to the ceiling as you lift the inside edge of your foot to the ceiling. Now, I know there may be a few overachievers, so if you do want to push it a bit, again, up to you, you could try straightening your bottom leg. But remember that it's not necessary for you to get a good stretch or to open the hips effectively, right? So just notice how you're feeling. And as you exhale, we're going to open the leg out to the right side and inhale, pull it in. Keep your left hip grounded. Exhale, open out. Inhale, lift up. That left glute will want to lift, keep it down. Last one, open it out. Lift it up. We're going to hold it here. Release your foot, hold the shape. And then we're going to cross your right shin over your left thigh. Push through the ball of your big toe. And we're going to lift that bottom leg up, if that feels appropriate, into a hovering supine pigeon pose. So no hands to start out with. And then we're going to see if we can lift our right shin off of the left thigh just for a moment to come into your active range. So you're probably going to have to move that left leg further away, and then you're going to hold. And you'll notice it's not going to be very dramatic looking, probably not Instagram worthy, but notice the muscles through the outer right hip starting to work a little bit more. Those are the muscles we want to start to wake up, literally wake up for the day. And then we're going to bring the legs back together and maybe catch behind the left leg here. What is that? The jambon, the left leg. If you can't quite make it behind the thigh, remember you can also use a strap. You can strap under your leg and hold the strap there. Do make sure that you're not in a shape like this where you're kind of straining and dying inside a little bit. We don't want that. We don't want to strain the neck. Maybe find a little movement side to side, can feel really nice. And keep that engagement through the ankle, through the foot, so that we're really targeting the outer right hip here. Whew. And then we're slowly going to lower that left foot down. Draw your right leg in one more time and extend your left leg long down the mat. Left hand to the left hip bone to keep it in place. Right hand to the right knee. And we're just going to stir that right knee and that right hip. Now notice if your pelvis is rocking and rolling, try and keep it still. So we're isolating this movement just to that right hip, to that right thigh. And we'll take it around the other way. Ground down into your bottom foot and leg just enough so that we can stabilize the pelvis. Give ourselves a little anchoring through that left leg. Nice, and then once you've done balanced them out, we're going to bring both feet down to the mat. Draw your knees in, give yourselves a little squeeze. Grab onto the left shin, and we're going to extend the right leg up to the ceiling, or maybe it's just to the wall, right? That's okay as well. A little bend in the knee, also absolutely fine. And we're going to circle through the ankles. Now, one way to really easily improve the mobility and the strength of your ankles is to stop wearing shoes inside. Stop wearing shoes in the house. They're limiting the range of motion that your ankles can do, that your feet can do. And then we'll go the other way. And they're also dulling all of the nerves that live on the bottom of the feet that help to send signals back to your brain about where your body is in space. So take off your shoes, even better if you take off your socks, but I know that can be a bit of an ask. Oof, nice, and then find stillness. Let's lift that foot a little higher, draw your left knee up to left shoulder, and as you exhale, we're gonna open the leg out to the right, turn your heel up to the ceiling just a little. That will help encourage the stretch through the inner thigh. Remember, you don't have to come very far here. We're not forcing it, just notice when you feel some sensation. Inhale, let's slowly lift up. Exhale, we're going to cross over towards the left side. Keep pushing through that foot. And you can see here, I'm just resting on my left forearm to stop me from tipping all the way down. And just stop when you find a little tug through the outer right hip. Nothing too aggressive. Gently come back up through center. And we're gonna bring that right foot to the floor. All right, half happy baby here. Catch behind that left thigh first, lift your foot to the ceiling. See how this feels. This is a wonderful place to start and to stay, or start to walk your hands up and maybe bring your left hand to the outer left foot, right hand to the right hip to keep the pelvis still. Draw your left shoulder down. Now maybe you want to straighten your bottom leg because you want to, but make sure it's still engaging. As you exhale, open the leg out to the left, and as you inhale, lift it up. Exhale to open. Pelvis is still. Inhale to lift. Just one more. Exhale. Nice, and then slowly come back through center. Cross that left leg over the right leg. Just stop here for a moment. Engage through this leg. So you're pushing your left shin down into the right thigh. You're finding that engagement through the outer left hip. Exhale, let's go ahead and lift it up. Wow, I already feel a stretch there. That's really funny. And then we're just going to unstick that right leg from the left leg. So you'll have to move that right leg forward and hold it here. So just hold, feel that heat start to cultivate. Keep your pelvis still. It's gonna wanna wiggle a bit. Ooh, and then bring your legs back together. Thread the needle, catching behind your right thigh. Use any props you may need. So maybe you need something extra to lengthen your arms here so you can keep your shoulders soft. And maybe find a little movement. So we're working on our hips first thing in the morning today because I'm going to assume you'll be doing a lot of sitting today. The hips aren't going to get much action maybe other than sitting up to, or standing up to maybe make a cup of tea or coffee. It's really good to get them moving, get those hip sockets lubricated. Ooh, Nice. And then we're slowly going to bring that right foot down to the floor. Bring your left shin in one last time. Extend your right leg long down the mat. Right hand to your right hip to keep it still. Left hand to the left knee. And we're going to stir that knee. Now maybe even close your eyes here. That can be a really nice thing to do. Keep that movement slow and steady. And we'll go the other way. Move with your breath. Nice. And then when you're ready, bring both legs in. Catch behind your thighs. And if it feels okay for your spine, we're going to do a little rock and roll. So exhale, you're going to rock up as slow as you can. And inhale, gently come down. Chin is tucked. Maybe close your eyes. Get a little bit of playfulness in here. And then we're going to lift up, cross your legs, and we'll come back into a table. So let's turn your fingers out to the left and to the right. Now normally we have our wrists directly under our shoulders, but today have your hands slightly further forward and a little bit wider, about as wide as your mat. Push into your fingertips, and we'll take it around in a little circle. Little circles one way. I will encourage you to close your eyes here again. It's a really nice way to start to gain that body awareness, a bit of interoception, and go the other way. That would be a really good spoof of Inception, interoception, but make it yoga. $1 million idea. Nice. Come to a neutral position, a little engagement through the low belly. As you exhale, we're going to bring our hips forward. See how this feels. Keep bearing down into the hands so your shoulders aren't slack, but they're drawing down. Coming into a little cobra-esque variation, engage your glutes because we're in a back bend. Take it all the way back with the hips, firm through the low belly, bum towards the heels, but hands stay on the floor, so you might not quite reach your heels. Exhale, bring it forward. Glutes are on. Maybe turn your gaze side to side. Keep your glutes on. Glutes are on. Wake them up if they're not awake yet. And then up and back. Firm through the low belly. Just one more time here. Bring it forward. Option here to bring your heels to your bum for a little bit more intensity. Make sure your glutes are on. Maybe gaze side to side. Glutes, glutes, glutes. Feet down. Come into a child's pose just for a moment. Do whatever you want with your hands. Probably feel good to flip them up to the ceiling. Let's take a few deep breaths down into your belly. Inhale, lift up, tabletop, hands under shoulders. Bring your left hand to your left shoulder, and we're going to reach the elbow up. Take a deep inhale in, and we're going to lengthen. Exhale, tap elbow to elbow. Inhale, lift it up, twist. Exhale, tap, gaze to the floor. One more time. Inhale, let's lift it up. Option to extend your arm up to the ceiling, reach through the fingertips, and then reach your left arm to the front of the mat. Your hand is right in front of your nose. Stack your right hand on top of your left, all of the fingertips down now. And as you exhale, we're going to start to lower to the floor. And we're going to do a few little pulses here. So as you inhale, you're going to rise up just a bit, firm through the low belly. And as you exhale, you're going to soften down. So we're in a puppy variation. Keep your arms straight and keep pushing into all your fingertips. Maybe close your eyes. And then when you're ready, find a moment of stillness. Inhale, lift back up. Find your neutral table, hands under your shoulders. Right hand to the right shoulder, lift your right elbow high. And as you exhale, tap elbow to elbow. Inhale, lift up and twist. Exhale to tap. Less twist in the neck. Last one, lift on up. Inhale. Hold here. Extend your arm to the ceiling. Stretch your fingertips. Reach your right arm in front of you. Bisect the body with your hand right in front of your nose. Stack your left hand on top of the right. Bum roughly over your knees. As you exhale, start to lower down. And just take a few little pulses here. Inhale, you'll rise up a little. Exhale, you'll lower a little. Move with your breath. And as always, find movement that feels valuable to you. Movement that feels authentic to your body. Give it one more round. Find a moment of stillness. Inhale, slowly start to lift up. Firm through the low belly. Bring your hands under the shoulders. Got so much hair in my eyes. Hands under your shoulders. Tuck your toes. Hover your knees off the mat for a breath. Push into the floor. A little engagement through the low belly. Neutral long spine. And then downward facing dog. Lift your hips high. Spread your fingers. Give your dog a walk, so find any little movement that is resonating with you, that feels good. Bending one leg at a time. Maybe moving your bum side to side, giving a little stretch for the side body. Feel really good first thing in the morning. Give your head a little shake. And then gently lower to your knees, come down for a child's pose. It could feel good to bring your hands round by your feet here. You can maybe use your pillow under your head or between your belly and your thighs. Take a deep inhale down into the belly and then sigh it out. Feel free to stay in this pose if it is restful for you, as long as feels necessary. Thank you so much for sharing that practice with me today. If you enjoyed this class, please give the video a little thumbs up, write a comment below, ask me any questions, let me know how you're feeling. And if you want to support the channel, subscribe, turn on notifications so you won't miss the next class that I post next week. See you on the mat soon.